Hi, this is Just Plain Phillip, and this is my thoughts on mobs and rioting. We have had a lot of problems around the world lately with mobs and rioting and the overturns of government. And I've had some questions on what my thoughts are on what's been going on in the world, and I thought I would take a few minutes here and tell you what I think and what I think from a biblical philosophy kind of an angle, and I hope you enjoy it. I will preface this by saying I did not start this channel to become popular, and I know that my views probably aren't going to make me very popular. There's a lot of people that will not agree with this, and I'd like to ask you to make your own video response. Post a comment. If you don't agree with me, you know, there's room for disagreement in this world, and I'd just like to ask you to be respectful in the exchange. And so here we go. We're going to start off with a few news stories. London riots. Public faith in the system hits rock bottom, and I have no doubt about that. There's a lot of things that have been going really wrong in this world. They've done a real disservice to a lot of people who would otherwise be very bright and intelligent people, hard workers, and the system has really let them down. Wisconsin riots at State Fair. There has been there was some riots this past week at the State Fair. I understand a lot of it was racially motivated. I do not believe anybody's right in that. I think that people need brotherly love, and I think if they were raised right, they would be doing right. Philadelphia Mayor Nutter, that's a name, isn't it? The dude's name is Nutter. He is a nutter. Listen to this. You have damaged your own race. This mayor is black. He's the third black mayor in Philadelphia, and he was speaking to black youth, and he's saying that they damaged their race and they need to get belts and wear their pants where they're supposed to be. Nobody wants to see their crack, and nobody wants to see their underwear. And you know, there's some things that he said that are absolutely right, but just the way he started out the speech was just not right. You, sir, are a nutter. Twitter refuses to close accounts because of freedom of expression. I'd like to salute Twitter. They finally found a business that seems like they want to do something right. But we look at the rest of it. Government considering shutting down of social media in times of civil unrest. You know, they decried the same move when Egypt did it. They have shown that they want to be just as tyrannical as just every other petty dictator out there. So that's what I think about that. If we let the government take our guns, we'll have to run and hide just like Londoners. It was an editorial piece at the biggovernment.com website. Their message is to keep your guns, fight for your rights, do things right in the legislature, and let's try to keep it. Let's try to keep the Second Amendment alive and well. And we need citizen militias, and we need private gun ownership. We've got to have it, or else we'll be fighting people off with bats and kitchen utensils, just like those poor people over in London. Please, let's fight for our gun rights. Let's fight in legislatures. Let's call our congressmen. We can't let them take our guns. And that's when we're going to come to the unpopular part here. A lot of people don't agree with the Bible. It's what I've based my life on, and it's what I have based my philosophy on. And so I've told you what I think about things from a human perspective. Now I want to give you what I think God's perspective on the riots would be. If you would, take your King James Bible. It's the only Bible, by the way. Take your King James Bible and open it to Romans 13. We're going to start at verse 1. I'll give you a second. You got it? Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. So let's open up our constitutions. I got my pocket constitution here. We're going to open it up and we're going to see what our government is. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common difference, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We are the government. The government, we are the higher power in the government structure. If you're one of the people, the government answers to you. Now let's go on and see what else God has to say about the higher powers in government. Starting at verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of that power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt be praised of the same. When you start fighting house churches over silly zoning laws, and you start harassing and ticketing street preachers, and you try to keep people from witnessing, you are being a terror to good works. And you are in the wrong, and you're storing up damnation for yourself. Verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, or avenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. This government bears the sword, and they bear it against the throats of the people. And I think it needs to stop. And you're storing for yourself up wrath with God. And one day it's going to come to visit. Verse 6. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Tribute is defined as personal contribution of money, praise, service, made in token of service rendered, or that which is due or deserved, as a tribute of affection. This government throws us a few pennies at tax time. They take 25% or more of our hard-earned money, and they throw us back pennies. I think it's pathetic. Now they want to cut back services. Really? I think you need to step back, and I think you need to put us under sound money. That's the service that you should be providing for us, protecting our borders, bring our troops home. That's what I think. Verse 8, owe no man anything. Yeah, owe no man anything. Think about that. Think about that with your debt ceiling. Let's have real money again. Let's have a balanced budget. Owe no man anything, but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Yeah, killing and stealing. That's all the government's good for. Thou shalt not bear false witness. The government lies to you all the time. Open your eyes. Thou shalt not covet. They steal from you every paycheck. Before you even have a chance, they take it from your hands. If there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. We obviously don't love our neighbor. You look around, you look at Mexico and what kind of shape they're in. It's really pathetic. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. The law isn't what they're saying that the law is. The law is love. But they want to enforce codes and statutes and ordinances on top of you and give it the color of law. But the law is what the book says. It's about not killing, not stealing, not taking other people's husbands and wives for yourself. And that's what the law is. Everything else is codes and ordinances. And it's what's enforced against corporations. And they want to put corporate law against you. Verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awaken out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. We don't need just food and guns to get through riots. We need holiness. We need sanctification. We need the Lord God. We need Jesus Christ. If you haven't accepted Him, He's the only way to heaven. He is your salvation. Verse 13. Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. But put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make not provision for the flesh, to fulfill the lust thereof. We need a change. We need a change in our hearts. This needs to come in our hearts first, and it needs to get in our heads. And then we need to go, and we need to call our congressmen, and we need to elect proper congressmen. We need to get proper sheriffs, and we need to change this world. And we need to change ourselves first. So, get in the book. Listen to some preaching. Get Jesus Christ in you. That is the solution to the rioting, and that is the solution to everything that's going wrong in this world. It needs to start with you and me. We've got to change before anything else will go right. And that's my opinion on it. We need to raise our children to be proper kids. We need to raise them with God, and we need to raise them with this book, the KJV Bible. It's the only Bible out there that is real. It's the only one that has the real word for the English language. And if you don't believe me, there's lots of studies on it. I can give you the links. I can give you the studies. Everything else is these modern translations. They've changed the words. They've dropped entire verses. And the people who translated the modern translations don't believe in the deity of Jesus Christ. And they don't believe in the blood, and they don't believe in real salvation. They want to preach this modern day, turn from your ways, not even found in the Bible type salvation, this social salvation. Get back in the King James Bible. Please. Let's do this. Let's change the world. This book has turned the world over many times. It's the one that's hated by the world. If people are up against this book, if the people in power are up against this book, it's something important. People don't want you to know about Jesus. They don't want you to know about King James. They run it down. This is the book to have. This is the book of sedition, really. But this is the book you need to put in your hands, and you need to get it in your heart, and you need to read it every day. So let's get into the book. Let's change us, and let's change this world for the better. We don't need rioting. We don't need to kill people. We don't need lynching. We don't need to to chase after government officials. We don't need to kill cops in the streets. We need to change ourselves. We need to change our communities. And we need to get back to Jesus Christ. So Sith Bushcraft, that's exactly what I think. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and God bless.